Guys, it's time for another budget review. Again, I picked the Hemlock and Oak 2024 Daily Planner for my budget planner for this year. We had such a good year last year with the 2023 Daily, so I just figured, you know what, it's working, so we're just going to keep going with it. So, what they do is they start with this year at a glance page. I use this for my financial dashboard. It's pretty much blank right now because nothing's really going on, but once the year starts picking up and things start happening, this page is going to start filling in. So, pretty much what we can see is there was one holiday in January, which was New Year's. It's already passed. And I am focusing on the CapQ account. So when I do actually pay that off, I will just mark it on the calendar. But other important things that I do keep track on here, of course, would be all the paydays. Those are in green. And large amounts of money in and out. So the money coming in would be the insurance funds. Those are yellow. And of course, I have those pesky vehicle expenses. So for this year, we have car inspection and plates. Last year, we had the photo ID renewal. So I do track those in here as well. And last year I didn't really take advantage of the whole holidays page. So this year I'm trying to use every page that I can. And I figured since I was going to be adding inserts in here that this would be a good place to put like my holiday plans. So if there's like any purchases or expenses that I need to save up for any of these, I'm just going to go ahead and list them in here. So again, with it being the second week of the year, not really too much has been put into this yet. The planner that I had last year, they did originally have a 2 years at a glance calendar. For some reason, they took it out of this year's edition. Please bring it back. So, I finally found a 2 years printable. It's on the custom calendar maker, and yeah, this, like in all of my other budget planners, I have never used this page, and I learned very quickly last year that this is one of the most important pages in my budget planner. So basically what I do is I use I I want to say it's a software. I'm not quite sure what it is, but there's an app which is called the Debt Payoff Planner app, and if you use the website version, it's debit.com. I do have both of those linked in the description down below. But you plug in all of your account information, and it gives you a nice little spreadsheet, which actually I do have it right here because I do keep it with my budget. So what it does is it takes all of your information and it gives you a nice little payoff checklist, just for all of your accounts, and it's going to tell you how long it's going to take. So we could see right here, the CapQ, which is Quicksilver. If I follow the plan, it should be paid off by March. So I just list it down here. So these are my projected payoff dates here. And what I do is as I'm paying on the account, I just highlight the week. And this way I kind of know, one, am I keeping pace with the projected payoff plan, and if I'm paying them off earlier. Last year, the beginning of the year, I I was just rolling through them. So I got to see like the first 6 months I did really, really good, and I was paying these things off like a month, if not 2 to 3 months off ahead of time. And then I just slowed down on the second half. So that's why I made sure to incorporate these pages again. And this is actually my new projected debt-free payoff date, which doesn't seem like that much, okay? Because if I was just starting out now, it'd be like, oh, okay, so by, next year. And it's knowing that this would have been my original payoff date, because like I said, I slacked off during that half part of the year last year, and it pretty much just by me just, slowing down for 6 months, it has added a whole nother year. So this right here, this has been the most motivating set of pages for me right now, because it's showing me that I really do need to bulldoze through these, because interest does really extend the process here. So, the next thing that I wanted to add to this, I did not have these last year, but one of my main things that tends to slow me down, which was adding, to, all of this, is I have this thing of where, like, I always make these, like, large purchases, and I want to start saving for them. And granted, I know last year's major one was the hot water tank. And yes, you need a hot water tank. Okay, so you could see, like, the first thing I started with is I'm really, really trying to dig into myself, needs versus wants. So I needed the hot water tank. um, if I would have had the money saved up for the water tank, it wouldn't have affected my payoffs. But since I was paying off the hot water tank, which, I mean, I did get it on a 0% for 6 months, but that would have been the 6 months because I had to get it in July. So all of the payments I was making towards that hot water tank were taking away from the focus accounts down here, which is why all of my progress just stalled. So what I want to do this year is simply, I do need to switch, or not switch, but I need to focus on, if what I want to save for, is it a want, and if it's a need, of course the needs are going to get saved up before the wants. Because, we're trying to do this correctly. So I did go on to Heidi Nash's website, which is Debt Free Charts. Um, she has wonderful little printables that really do make budgeting fun. So I picked the piggies this year. Have I added anything to the piggies? No, but it's because I'm really focusing on getting some of these um, purchases that I did have to make. They're my collagen and my vitamins. So we're gonna focus on paying those down first, but this is where I'm gonna start putting the monies back, and of course everything I do is digital. So um, one, for me, just so that I can see the progress that I'm making, and two, it's easier for me to share the information with yins. So that's how we got the Pigo page, and of course we got an additional Pigo page. I did add a car loan sheet this year too, just because one of my major goals this year is to get this thing paid off. If I follow, yeah, if I follow the Stebit plan, it's not to be paid off until February of 2025. I really think I could get this thing paid off this year, guys. Again, I just need to get a fire under the butt. So, that's why we have that on there. And I'm really, really wanting to start to save for a house deposit. Again, if you've been watching my videos, I really hate where I live. Like, uh, I try to make the best out of it. I try to sit and say, like, oh, I'm thankful and grateful that I have a place to live in. But, this is really something that I want in the next 5 years. So, of course, I do have it in the order of most important, because, again, you got to get those debts down, right? And you're gonna have to save for needs and wants. It's going to happen. And of course, I do need to get that car loan paid off, because, you really can't be saving for a house if you're still paying on this type of stuff. So that's why this is here, and I just had this extra sheet, so I decided to add in future goals, because you never know. I don't know what the future holds, so anytime something that's coming up for the 5-10 year goal plans, it's going on here. I don't know how good the camera picks this up, but if you see a bunch of inky mess here, it's because I messed up and I printed these on my inkjet printer on laser paper. Completely forgot. I was just so excited to get them printed off, but that's what happened there. And of course, we have the old original Detris. I used this frequently last year. And this is a fun way to see how close you are to your total goal. So, really in the Hemlock and Oak planner, it would have went straight from holidays to important. So those are all the pages that I did add to this year. And I did start coloring in some of the detritus because um like I am keeping this handy. Last year I printed it off and just put the information in the planner. This year I'm keeping it just to make sure that, again, I am sticking with the original plan. And basically, I just added these up because I pretty much have them all paid for the month. Anything else is extra now. So I went ahead and totaled those up, colored in the blocks, and I'm hoping to get at least two more blocks on here. What would be really cool is if I could finish in this whole bottom row. So, this is how you kind of gamify paying off your debts. And for any of the actual information on here, I feel like I'm repeating it, so I'm sorry, but all I did is I took all of the accounts that I still have left to pay for this year, and I just listed them from the smallest account to the largest account. I prefer to do the snowball method when I'm paying down my debts. It seems to be the one that like motivates me the most. Probably because you get like nice quick wins, and I know it's going to cost more in interest, but I feel like if I'm more motivated to pay them off faster because I am getting the quick wins, then hopefully like I'll pay them off before the projected dates. Of course, nothing's written down here yet because January isn't over. And that gets us to this lovely monthly page here. So, what I do on the monthly page is I just list all of the bills and, on their expected due dates. You can go ahead and like write in the total if you know what the total is going to be. Like I already know I'm going to be putting $80 to my daily down here. There's other ones that like I pretty much know this is going to be 18 something, but you never know if they're going to do that. Hey, we increased it. So, I do tend to leave those blank until it happens. But I know, I mean, you could always pencil it in too. But I just choose to leave mine blank there. Um, let's see here. Even the accounts that I know I've paid off. So these are accounts that I paid off last year. I still mark them in here. It may seem weird to continue to mark them. But what I do that for is just in case if I do end up having to use the account, such as Lowe's, like I had to use that for the hot water tank. There's never a balance carried on Lowe's, but with the hot water tank, I needed to know the due date. So, I mean, yeah, I could have went on to the account and got the, due date and then started adding it in, but in a weird way, it does kind of give me that little bit of motivation. Um, to where it's like, oh yeah, hey, there's a credit card that you have and you don't have to pay it. There's another one, you don't have to pay it. Look, there's two more, you don't have to pay it. So it does kind of remind me of what my budget looked like 4 years ago, and it shows me the progress that I've been making. Because the answer is yes. Every account that you see on this page, there was one time where I did owe 25 to, we'll just go to 50 for a minimum. So, so yeah, it looks like a mess, but at the same time, I know that there's progress there. Um, okay, so all of the mandatory ones and the ones that normally don't change, those are in blue. That is my main color for the month. So those are the blue boys. And everything you see in gray is what I call an optional. So, of course, it's optional for me to do my $5 a day savings challenge. I just do it in 2 easy payments now per month. It's on the payday. And, of course, I have that focus account, so my cap Q. I still do the minimum for the focus account. He is paid on his projected day, and all of the extras I do on a Sunday. So of course I know budget wise I can easily put 50 extra towards each debt on every Sunday. Everybody's number is different. And what is it, last year? I want to say probably March. I tried upping it. I thought I could do it. And apparently I made it like a little too high. And what that did is it made me need to start relying on credit card usage towards the end of the month, and apparently that's like a weird downward spiral because you're starting the next one in the negative because you got to pay off the whatever you charged. And that was it took me like a good 2 months to get out of that. So I know for sure 50 is my comfortable zone. What I'm now doing is making sure that everything is paid and taken care of for the rest of the month, and then I'll start doing additionals on top of these 50s. So that is one thing that I did learn from last year. Don't get too ballsy with the payments. So, of course, this is my 2024 planner. So I did have this extra page here, and I decided I was going to start keeping a big purchase tracker here. So, of course, I got hooked on the whole Bath and Bodies because they have the semi-annual sale. I am a big Bath and Body Works addict. I cannot not do it. So, you can see I've already paid that thing off amazingly. I don't know how I did it, but I did. And I am gonna start adding in wants and needs again on this page because that is something that I really want to drill into myself, the difference between them, because if you ask me, I need the candles, but I don't need them. So, again, you're gonna see a lot more of wants and needs this year. And of course, Vita Authority would be my collagen. For most people, that is going to be a want. It's where you're, just trying something healthy and trying something new. For me, it is a need. My muscles really need it. I don't know what happened to me 2 years ago, but yeah, bad things happen if I don't take the collagen. I'm feeling that this morning. I was an idiot and I didn't take it yesterday, and I can feel it. And so yeah, that is a need. There is no, hey, you gotta pay this off. You can't get the collagen. It's you need the collagen so you could go to work, so you could make money, so you could pay this stuff off. So yes, I did have to make a purchase for it for this year, but as you saw on those Pigos pages, I am going to start making its own little savings fund because, I mean, I need it. The Activated You, not to be confused with the whole morning complete thing, that would be a want, and I definitely don't want it. It was bad. And leave down in the comments if you've tried it. But they do have a vitamin supplement in there. And again, one of my health issues is the whole thyroid thing, but I can't take the thyroid medication because I'm allergic to it. And somehow or another, this actually, it does what the thyroid pill is supposed to do without the thyroid stuff. So again, this is a need. I just wish like the health insurance would cover it, but of course they won't. That's a bummer. And that gets us into the daily pages, guys. So, when I last left Gin's, it was last Sunday, and this is, we had that snowstorm, and basically I had 2 days in, so I didn't leave the house at all, and you can see there was very limited spending. The only spending I really had would have been Saturday, but that's because Bill and Ray went out into the snowstorm, so I did take advantage of them going shopping for me, and it did greatly reduce how much I spend, because he literally just picked up the, 2 items that I said I needed. I know if I would have went into the store, I would have bought everything. So that's a nice little trick, to where you don't want to spend more. But just these 2 pages alone showed me that the more I stay home, it normally means I don't spend. Just I mean, I don't know. I find that I stay busy enough with all my creating or like housework or, things like that, that I don't online shop. The online shopping is normally that I'm bored. So I try not to be bored there. And you can see that I believe that, yeah, that would have been the first extra payment. Okay, so Monday. Yeah, here we go, going to work, which was a wild day. Our kitchen failed inspection. The floor was getting cut. And, well, Direct Tech was still there and they were making a mess. And, everybody was just cranky. So, of course, with the new shift, 4 o'clock is now my coffee time. So I did make the Starbucks run, but you can see I used a gift card. Of course, I, go to McDonald's every day. I do eat a large fry every day, guys. But, I mean, I did write it on the wrong line. I was gonna correct it, but I was like, I know where it goes to. It's not that big of a deal. So yes, I do eat at McDonald's every day for under $3. What else do I have here? I did have to get, which I know I'm trying to correct myself here. I feel like I had to get these planters, but I really didn't need to buy them. If you kind of catch what I'm saying here, somebody was throwing away ferns. Guys, the things were still alive. They just needed watered, and I'm a sucker for rescuing plants. So the one thing I did notice is they were in too small of planters. So I did go on to Amazon. I found a really good deal where I got 2 10-inch pots that are self-watering, and they're really nice. I've been repotting them this weekend. So I did get 2 of them for 21, and I used my stash funds to cover the cost, so it's basically a $0 charge, but it did come out of my stash. And again, I'm starting to pay my bills ahead of time now. Last year, I think it's just because I was setting up the budget. I mean, some of them were paid ahead of time, but I would write it on the page that it was due. So, like, I knew that I had 300 some dollars, but I mean, there could be like a negative 100, like 2 or 3 pages back here. This year, I'm writing it in the ledger as it happens because I really want a true running balance. So that's why he's probably 2 days ahead of time. What else do we got here? Tuesday. Tuesday is a just pay it. So, basically, I know all of the bills are covered for this pay period, and I went ahead and paid off one of the orders that we saw on that tracker there in the first part. One of these, so this is whenever I paid off the Bath and Bodies. I pretty much knew I had all the bills paid for this pay period, and to me, I just felt better knowing that, hey, I had enough to cover it, so we're just getting that thing paid off, and then that way that's one less I gotta cover. I don't have to worry about it. And of course I went shopping for Bird, and we did use points at Burger King, so that's why it was nice and low. So again, $2.11. So you can eat out for less, guys. Is it healthier? No. Is it healthier for me? Yes. But this is really why I don't buy groceries. Another thing, if this is your first time watching one of my reviews, is you can notice, like, these are the to-dos for my budget. So of course there's always a no cards. That's my reminder, do not use your credit cards. And if I've did anything out of the ordinary, such as one of my bills is due, we'll see that on the next page. They'll be listed up here, and then of course I paid off the Bath and Body Works order, so now I can kind of flip through this and it's like bam, right there. So That makes it easier for me. Of course, I keep a running ledger down here, and the schedule, I do keep track of when I spend, and it's really easy to see where you have spending habits. So I don't know. And in one way, like when I'm trying to spend less, like a lot less, this tells me danger times. So if there's a time of where I'm like, okay, you've overspent on Starbucks, you can't get any more Starbucks, I definitely do not put myself in the car at 4 o'clock. I will go to Starbucks. You're, I don't know. The scheduling thing does tell me that a lot of my spending is habits. It's time and place. So, moving on to Wednesday. This again, I'm telling myself pay them early, and again, last year I was paying them ahead of schedule, but this is the first time that I'm marking it as so. Like I'm marking it directly in the ledger when it's paid. The main example there would have been the T-Mobile. So we can see that T-Mobile was paid on the 8th, car insurance was paid on the 3rd, and it was due on the 10th. So I'm still listing my bills on the day that they're due, because God forbid I skip one. But I mean, if it's already paid, I'm marking when I paid it. Then that way I can go back to the ledger and say, oh yeah, you paid this much. It's already marked on the monthly anyways, but I've learned that the more you mark it down, the more it's ingrained into your brain, when it's due and how much. Not really too much happened on Wednesday. Thursday. Okay, so this is where I got this really great idea for this year. We're gonna roll with it for January, see how it goes. But I'm wondering if this is gonna help motivate me to spend less out of each pay. Just because if there's any remaining funds from each payday, so we know that I already got paid, I'm going to be getting paid this Friday after this. Whatever's left out of this is going to go into my stash fund. And my stash fund, I pretty much call my fun fund. But I mean, really, I can use it however I want. I can use it if I wanna stock up on makeup, which I did need, and of course our local carriers, stores and that they don't carry it, so I do have to order it online, which is stupid. And so when I do order it, I do have to buy bulk because I'm not paying for the shipping. So yeah, that's what made me realize, like, okay, so instead of this coming directly out of the pay, it could come out of my stash fund, but I'll be able to put more into my stash fund if I spend less on stupid stuff during the week. So I'm really hoping that this helps motivate me in that challenge here. So that's how we're gonna see, because of course Friday's payday. So I did have $71.94 left over out of that pay, and that instantly went into stash. So this is really going to motivate me to, like, this is what the pay is. I have 2 weeks to do everything I need to do with this. How much can I have left over? So in a weird way, I'm kind of gamifying it again. I know these pages look like a disaster, but again, this is really what was happening in my budget. Last year, it's just we only got to see it in tiny pieces, and this is the Dooms Week. I call it Dooms Week because it's literally like everything is due. I mean, yeah, this one looks pretty beefy, but it's a bunch of smaller accounts, and as we can see, a lot of them are already paid off. This one right here, this is the big one because we got a bunch of hundreds. I mean, there's some big boys in this 2-week time frame. So, again, I'm already paying these accounts ahead of time, but to me, I just wanted to see what the end balance is, then that way I can budget more accordingly, knowing what that is. So, of course, any extra funds went in the stash. I got paid. That's my original stash. Last year it was only 20. I beefed it up to 50. That's my daily. And of course, here we start with all of these stupid credit cards. And again, I'm keeping track of them on here as well. So we can see I've made the Mercury. I did transfer the PSCCU funds. It takes a week for those to go through, so I did mark the 100, but I do have a friendly reminder back in here of like, hey, check those funds, make sure they transferred over, and pay the stupid bill. We have the Merrick, the Discover, the Chase. Discover was our nemesis last year. And of course, we got another Starbucks run at McDonald's. And we made it to Saturday here. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, okay, well, if you did that for the cards, why don't we just do it with the utilities? And then that way, like, I really know what I got left over. So, again, this is why I call it Dooms Week, because you can see how much comes out of the freaking account during these 2 weeks. And so I just did what I did with these. Me and Ray do split the utilities, so that's why we have that in there. And of course, with all of this, I didn't have enough money to put most of my stuff on. So the Sheets trip is on here. And of course, we had a pizza night. I always forget the Canva charge. But fortunately, I saw it. It went on here. And of course, my final payment for the Procreate class. And yes, guys, yesterday was sticker day. And I did do a purchase through Happy Planner. It was a really good price. Did I need it? No. Did I want it? Yes. And I figure if you're going to buy them, always buy them on, when you know it's a really good deal. So I did get a good deal. And that leads us to today, which is one day before the mid-month review. So, of course, that's going to be next week. But as we can see, like today, Mercury and Water would have been due, but we've paid those on the 2 days before. Bert's hair is everywhere today. And I did make another extra payment to Capital Q. And of course, it's early in the morning. I haven't done nothing. I really don't plan on doing anything. So this should be the only charge for this day. And that's it, guys. That's really the weekly review here. Let me know in the comments down below if you like this setup, if you have a similar setup, just if you're on your own budget journey. It really does help me get ideas on things to discuss for the next video. So, again, I'm just going to close out and just say thank you so much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button to see more budget reviews.